Hey guys, how are you? So we're going to, give me 1 second, we're going to get started. I have to go in about 45 minutes. So we're going to get into this. We're going to get started. I'm going to also go live from Instagram on this subject. So give me 1 second. Okay, because we're going to spend some time today talking about finances. And so let me get this together. Okay, I'm gonna put this here. It's a little blurry. Hold on, guys. Like, wait, hold on. Let's make sure this is right. Okay. Okay. So, hi guys. How are you? I am at the co-working space that I do my Glam Print Go work from. And so today I spent time on the phone with clients, potential clients, sales calls, all that beautiful stuff. And on my list, I have videos that I'm supposed to be getting out to you guys. So we're going to do one of those videos today. Hey, Nikki Budgets, how are you on YouTube? So today we're going to be talking about, again, my whole goal is to provide planner and journal content as much as I can. And then I'm also eventually going to get back to talking about drop shipping, t-shirts, all that good stuff. But right now I'm in a whole planner and journal zone. So I want to make sure that I get that content out. So today we're going to be talking about your budget or the finances concerning product development with planners and journals specifically. I'm not going to go too deep into it because of the fact that this topic I talk about in my prayer journal kit that is officially open. It was sent out to my email list last night. And so it's for the sale price right now of $397. And it comes with a 3-hour training, 102-page workbook. So it's worth every single penny and dime that I've put into it. If not, I would definitely say maybe 10 times more because it's a business basically that I'm creating and helping you do all these resources. But in the free content that I provide on my YouTube channel, I want to spend time talking about kind of the surface things that I want you guys to start thinking about. And I realized that I haven't provided a lot of content specifically around planners and journals when it comes to like your budget. I talk a lot about this in like building a business, but not specifically in planners and journals. So today we're going to talk about 3 things specifically when it comes to creating planners or journals, okay? The first thing we're going to talk about is actually, number one, knowing exactly what you actually want to create because that matters. And then number 2, we're going to be talking about the difference between self-publishing and then getting a manufacturer because that influences the money. And the third thing we're going to talk about is the money that you need after the product is created because you need money not just for the product itself, but to actually sell the product, influencers. So the first thing you have to realize is like, number one, what is the actual like money that you've set aside for a planner or a journal? A lot of my clients, they first say, I don't have a budget. And then eventually like I have to like build it for them. But you definitely want to have a budget. And, a lot of people will say, well, just, I don't know how much should go into that budget. And that's what this video is going to kind of give you a realistic viewpoint with, right? So ideally, in my class, which I talk about, you need to have several thousand set aside. Now, what that amount is, I'm not going to say because it all ranges. We're going to talk about what influences that on a surface level because my students, they got the deeper level. But I would say you need to have several thousand set aside because remember, a lot of times when people come to these kind of projects, they're just focused on making the product. And like, that's not enough. Like, it's not enough to like just make the product, right? Like you need money for product development. Then you need money for marketing. Then you need money for your influencers. Then you need money for, ongoing production after the first batch is done. And so these are things you have to think about because a lot of times when people watch all my videos on YouTube, right? It's like thousands of people and they all think, oh, it only costs this much to make a product. And I'm like, no, that is not how this works. Right. So the first thing is that, first of all, knowing what kind of product you want to make. Right. So paper bound planners and workbooks are cheaper because there's no metal involved, right? It's the cheapest kind of product you can make, okay? Then you have planners and journals that have like spiral rings. The moment you add metal to a product, it costs more. So people are like, oh, I want to make a day designer. That costs more, right? It costs more. So you'd be ready to shell out more. That's why I tell people you need several thousand to do this project, like to make a planner and journal and to have the money for not just the product itself, but for marketing, all that, like five. Like five is a very healthy number to have for, I would say, a good product development kind of thing when it comes to planners and journals, right? Because when you look at the unit costs, a lot of times that you're paying for these products overseas, especially with planners and journals, your unit costs are going to be between usually about $3 to $5. And what's going to end up happening is that when you do that, you have to order in bulk, right? Versus a lot of you guys who've gone the self-publishing route, right? Where you're getting them done through like, Kindle Direct Publishing, Lulu, Ingram Spark, where those are more like paperback planners and journals. It's cheaper, right? And you don't have to have like, this MOQ. You don't have to have this high minimum order quantity, right? Where you could order like 30 of them, or you could order 50 of them, and you're paying for each unit, right? There's no discount. You're just paying for, if you want 30, you're going to pay $3 times 30, $3 times 50, $3 times 60. So you first have to know what kind of product. Is this like a fancy planner and journal, or is this, like a paperback product, like a book, and it has black and white pages on the inside and a color cover, right? So the more basic it is, the cheaper it will be. But remember, you're going to have money to order the units. Okay. And so that's why I tell people, give yourself time. If you don't have a lot of money on hand, give yourself time to save and to stack up money for product development. This is actual, you're making products. And it's not like you yourself are hand stitching, these products together, and you are, making and I've seen videos where people actually are making them, like they're actually making journals and planners. That's not my specialty, right? I'm going to pay someone instead to do that. But when you pay them that, it is going to involve you paying someone else to print and manufacture those products. So again, the first thing you have to know is, are you looking for a fancy product, or are you going to go the self-publishing route? In the self-publishing route, you don't have to put up, several grand, right? But I do think you still need, I would say, at least about $2,000 to actually think, to actually get, order the units, and then from there go into your marketing and all that kind of stuff, right? So once you know exactly what you want to produce, the second question that we're going to go into is going to be, okay, what is actually involved in the different components past just making the product? So you have to think about things like this. Okay, you're going to need a website to sell it on, and everyone wants to be cheap. Like, what's the free platform? You're in a business, right? Right? So you're in a business. And so when we talk about making a physical journal or planner, you don't need to be cheap about it. And to be honest, I tell people all the time, it's like, if you're running a business model and your whole goal is how free can I make it to be, you're not going to have the best outcomes, right? So Shopify is the number one e-commerce platform. I love it. It's $29 a month. So you need to have a plan that you can at least make $29 a month to pay for these website costs, okay? And so with that, people say, well, I can just put it on Etsy. Etsy is okay, but Etsy is not the best platform for planners and journals. Like, you can still sell it on there, but Etsy does not have awesome email integration, does not have the best conversion for, especially if it's a planner and journal that has like a specialty towards it. Etsy is a search engine for handmade crafted items. Like, that's what it's for. For people sell planner stickers on there, but people are not like selling a planner and journal on Etsy, right? Like that, you're not going to hear of a major seller selling their journals and planners on Etsy, right? And so Shopify is going to be the best, right? You can also do Amazon. But if you choose to use a distributor like that, you would need to build up and drum up a lot of traction, right? On that, right? Onto Amazon. On top of that, when you use Amazon as a seller, you can use it through their, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Oh my God. through there, basically you sign up as an Amazon seller, right? So it's not like you're publishing through Amazon. You're just going to be selling your products as an Amazon seller, right? So you can go that route, but you have to know what kind of business you're creating, and you cannot be cheap about it, because the thing about products, this is what people really have to remember. What does anyone remember from me teaching? What is the art of products, especially of products that are under a certain value? The art of the game is value, right? So if you sell a product, let's say it's like a $40 product, you really start making money when you're pushing enough units, right? Like you don't have a business because you've sold 10 planners for, $30. You make $300 a month. That is not a very profitable business model. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have a great business. What I'm saying is that, some people say, oh, well, I want to have a business that replaces my income. And well, you need to think about how can we sell in volume, right? That is the art of the game with products. How can we sell enough per month, not just once? And we talked about this in the Q&A I did. I think I did that 2 days ago, right? Like if we want to make just $1,000, this is the reason why I tell people t-shirts are not an easy drop business, because you're selling a product that's like $30. How many do you have to sell to even make 3,000? You need 100 sales per month. 100 sales to make $3,000 a month. And that is gross. That does not count expenses. And this is why we have to have this money talk, right? Because a lot of people, when they watch my videos, they're like, oh, it's just so easy. And I'm telling them, yes, it's great, but it's a business. Like this is an actual business. The second thing I want to point within this subject is that, and I talk about this in my 102-page journal planner workbook, right? You need to understand that when you start spending hundreds of dollars on a planner or journal, any kind of product or business, it should not be your personal money. So I can stack, let's say I stack $5,000, right? And that's just chump change. When we talk about running a business, that's chump change. People are like, oh no, that's a lot of money. That is start running a business. Ask any business owner who's been running a business. After a while, you're going to be looking at things that are $1,000 and just be like, right? So let's say I stack 5,000. What you need to do, this is like a business 101 thing. Okay. You need to write your business a check. This is before you spend any money on anything. Okay. You need to write your business a check of that amount, right? And then you deposit that check into your business bank account. And then you use your business bank account to pay for everything concerning your planners and journals. You never use your personal money to write. You're going to pay the designer. And so you're paying out of your personal business account, your personal bank account, $500 and, all that kind of stuff. Guys, let me tell you something. Please listen to me. This is not good. Okay. This is not good whatsoever. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to now, hold on guys, let me report this person. Cause they are just, thank you. Okay. Thank you guys. This was crazy. And we're going to just, hide the user. There we go. Okay, cool. I was just having some craziness on my thing. Okay. So this is so important. I pray everyone who's doing this kind of business watches this video, because a lot of people don't want to talk about money. We want to talk about making the product. No. So you first want to make sure that all your transactions for your planner and journal business, because it goes through the business. Okay. So that means that you do not, when you pay to have your product printed, you pay out of the business bank account. You may say just this is simple. No, it's not. I can tell you how many people don't actually follow these principles, right? And so because technically these are all expenses that you're incurring for your business, right? None of this stuff is profit. It's all incurring expenses, okay? And so you want to do all of that before you go into spending, right? Okay. Now, the other thing is that you do not pay for any planners and journals until you have a pulse on an actual tribe. This is so important. And so unless you have a plan to actually sell these, you do not need to spend any money yet because you don't have a plan to recoup on the expenses. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to begin to now focus on, okay, who am I selling this to? Where are they at? Am I going to conferences? Am I going to vending, exhibit things where I can sell these products? Like, what is my game plan to recoup the cost? If you don't have a plan for that, you don't need to do anything yet because you don't have a plan of sales. And so a lot of times we get so hooked on making a product that we don't get the understanding of, okay, wait, how am I going to make this money back, right? So this is why, too, this is what goes into making good products, right? You want to make a product that's sellable, that people will buy so you can recoup those costs. This is also why you want to be someone that is ready to gather people. And on my channel, I have a lot of free business classes. And if you just go to my YouTube channel, you go there, there are playlists. There's one that says, it's called free classes. There's also another playlist that is called like community building or something like that. I have hour-long classes and trainings that are free. So there's no excuse for you not to learn this stuff, where I talk about how to build community, how to build a tribe, how to start to gather people. There's a training on email marketing. And I have so many things on this channel that will teach you that before we even talk about products, I have to make money. I have to make money and I have to have a plan to make this money back that I'm spending. So you need to think about tribe building. That's big, okay? Because that's going to help you in making this money back. That also helps you to know how many units you need to order in your first batch, right? Because you don't need to order 200 journals and planners and you have no plan to sell them. That's a waste of money, right? So that's important too. Now, that's just making the product. Let's talk about other things that come into play of your budget. So you also have to think about, okay, like I said before, the website. You can make them on Shopify. If you're not good at design, you need to pay someone for it. Oh, Genesis, why should I pay someone for it? Because this is a business. This is not, I just need something that can put my product up there. Well, you need to have a website that will convert people to buy, that is built for conversion. So you need to have a good website. Then the question becomes, what is your plan to keep on selling these products? Because a lot of times people, when they do like product creation, they're just preparing for launching a product. And launching a product is just that. It's launching it. You have to still sell it ongoing, right? So then you have to have a business plan and a strategy for how are you going to engage more users that you then convert into becoming customers, right? So this is why we talk about things like using influencers. So, for instance, I have clients that are faith-based, right? So they work with faith-based influencers of the Christian community to help push the planners and journals. There's a client that's in the financial world. Well, my client is from the financial world. So she worked with a lot of entrepreneurs and, different groupings so that people could buy this planner, right? Buy this planner. Right? Who wanted to learn how to save money, who wanted to learn how to do these kind of things. So, but you have to have money for the influencers because the influencers either want free product or you have to pay them for an unboxing, for, all these different types of things. You have to have money for that. You also may want to run ads. You may want to go vend and exhibit. And a lot of times when you want to go to big events, conferences, and sell your product, they're going to charge you for it, right? And so that's going to probably be it could range from $50 to several thousand, depending upon what kind of event you go to, right? There's people I know who vend at Essence Fest, people who vend at, large, faith-based conferences, business conferences, and it costs money to be an exhibitor. So you have to pay for that, right? So you have to have money for that. You also need to have money for investments. So like, let's say, for instance, you want to go to a conference. Let's say you want to go to a stationary conference. There's a huge stationary conference that happens in New York every year. It is huge. You can learn, you meet all sorts of printing companies. You can meet companies that are from all over the world, right? To have better vendor choices and things like that. Maybe you want to launch a stationary business. There's all sorts of people there. Well, that's going to be an investment because it's not free. It's not a free conference. You have to pay for that. So your business needs to have money in the bank to pay for those experiences, right? So this is why, when I talk about the financial side of having this kind of business, I wanted to do this video because I wanted you guys to see that this is why I teach about it being a business. People always ask me, Jess, can you do more planner and journal videos? And my mind always thinks, but it's more than just creating a planner. And like my heart, if you cannot tell, like is really attached to this topic because I've seen so many people make products that don't sell, make products that they're disappointing them because they were so focused about just making something. And making something is just the beginning. I want you to really internalize this in your mind. It is just the beginning because once it's created, you're just getting started. You now have to run a business now. You have to start thinking about, okay, how am I going to sell several of these, hundreds of these per month to actually make this into a business? What is my plan? How does that work? And so don't become that person that just is a maker. Become a person that is a creator of things that sell and help to change the world. Remember, a lot of times we say we want to create products that change the world, but how can it change the world if it's not in people's hands? So this is why too, you have to have a marketing budget. Like I said before, social media ads, you may want to do that. You may want to sponsor events, right? And again, you don't have to do all these things, but you have to have money to do those things, right? Some of the other things that you're going to need to pay for are your email marketing platforms. Now, usually most of them will be free, but once you get over a certain number of users, you need to pay for those services. So we got the website fee, we have the email marketing fee, you have the social media ad budget, you're going to have your, of course, your taxes you have to pay, right? You're going to also have your, there's a lot of things, maybe you have an accountant or maybe use an accounting service, right? Like QuickBooks, right? So those things like that are usually low, like between $10 to $15 a month, but it's still a monthly cost, right? So these are things you have to think about. Now, the other thing though, too, is that with working with manufacturers overseas and with products, a lot of times you have to put down a deposit, actually all the time. You have to put down a deposit before you start working with them. So be ready for that deposit payment, okay? Some other things I want you guys to think about as far as finances are going to be things like social media automation, right? So if you use Buffer a month, that's $10 a month, right? It's like different things like this, but you got to think about all those different things to run your business. Now, the great thing about having this kind of business is that you won't have too large of overhead expenses because it's not like you need I'm in a co-working space. It's not like you need a huge office, right, to run your company. You can run your company from home, but remember, you can get tax benefits from running a home office, right? But you have to be a business, right? You need to think about some things. And so that's the great part about being a new business owner when you're starting out, right? You don't need to have a ton of overhead, but you do need to consider, okay, what do I need to run this kind of business? Am I working hard to gather people? This is why I tell people, don't launch your business immediately. Not launch it, but don't put out your planner journal immediately. You guys, we talked about this in the Q&A. I would spend a whole year building up community before I even launch a product. This is the long game. This is the long game. This is what will actually help you. Don't rush to make the product. Rush to start gathering people. Collect as many people as you can, get their emails, connect with them. I would travel and meet as many people that match the target audience for my product. So then by the time I launch my product, I have a healthy room to give it to, and then I can continue to build off of that. It's hard to build off of nothing. And that's like a life lesson. People say, oh, I made it from nothing. But the problem with that quote is that, yeah, but something, you stood on something, right? No one started from nothing because you didn't start from nothing. I don't care if you had no money in your pocket. You had something to build on. Either you had hope, you had a dream, you had a vision, but no one builds off of nothing. There is always something, whether it's intangible or tangible, right? And I could teach on that on a whole nother subject, but you need something to build on. And so don't build with nothing. It'll be hard. You will have the reverse effect where you're struggling up a mountain versus going down a mountain. Right. And so does anyone have any immediate questions concerning budgets with planners or journals? This is just a surface video, but just want to kind of get your mind thinking. Any questions concerning like your budget, maybe some things you have an idea, like your question about concerning costs. If you're watching the replay of this video, just comment down below. If you're watching the replay in the comment box, and just let me know if you have any questions because I will answer them. The next video that I'm doing concerning planners and journals is going to be a video on why I chose to self-publish my products versus to work with a traditional publisher. So that's going to be my next video that will be going up tomorrow or Saturday. Okay, guys, I will see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Again, if you have any questions, ask below. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a blog post that will, some people were asking like, Genesis, can you start writing articles on planners and journals? I thought that was an awesome idea. So I have a company called Glam Print Go where we specialize in manufacturing, well, not manufacturing, but helping you produce planners and journals and getting you a manufacturer and actually like doing the whole process for you. So I'm going to start putting articles on that website to help you guys learn about the steps of creating planners and journals, articles on that. So I'm going to be writing my first article this weekend, and I'll be writing an article every week. And so I'm going to be opening up an email list that you can join that will teach you all about planners and journals. And so that is coming up soon. So guys, again, if you have any questions about anything I've talked about, just comment in the description box. See you guys later. Bye.